in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, good afternoon everyone. My name is Karan Sharma. I'm a digital marketing manager with DSIM. I'm the training and delivery head at DSIM. So guys, first of all, before I start with the session, actually, thank you for taking out time to attend this session at DSIM. Today we'll be discussing on startups basically, how you can leverage social media for your startup. All right. So guys, just a quick overview of the control panel on which you are viewing this webinar. On the right hand side of your screen, you will notice a control panel. Over that control panel, in case you have a query or you want to ask any question, there are two options available. Number one, there's a button over there which says raise your hand. So once you press that button, I'll simply unmute you from my side and you can ask your query. Please note that your desktop or your laptops, they need to be connected to microphones in case you're asking a query by raising your hand. The second option, which is a much easier option, which I would recommend you to use, there's a tab over there by the name of questions. So basically, there's a chat box over there. Simply type in your query over there, and we'll be taking it up. All right. So, guys, just a quick heads up. I hope all of you can hear and see me properly. If the answer is yes, please type in yes in the chat box. I would highly appreciate that. Cool. So I got responses from a lot of people. Thank you so much for your participation. Another thing, guys, today we have Rupal. My name is Karan Sharma. So any which ways, I won't be conducting this webinar. I'll be a person named Aman Hans who recently started a startup and who's working on social media practically. So he'll be here today to guide you how you can leverage social media to boost your startup or to increase sales or to build customer engagement, etc. So I'll be making Aman the presenter as of now. So he'll be starting the webinar and he'll be taking up your queries. If after the webinar, if you have any queries, I'll share my email ID with you. My name is Karan Sharma. I'm the training and delivery head at DSIM. So I'm tapping my email ID in the chat box. If you have any queries after this training, feel free to revert to me. All right. So my email ID is Karan, Karan @DSIM.in. So I've already shared my email ID with you. I hope you have received it. Please check your chat boxes. All right. So guys, now I'll be transferring it to Aman. So Aman will be taking it forward from here. So here you go, Aman. Just give me one moment, guys.
This is Aman this side. I hope you guys can hear me. So guys, it's just a quick brief about me and what I do and how I'm associated with DSIM. So basically, I'm working on my startup. It's an e-commerce startup by the name of bigsmall.in, and basically, we deal in unique gifts. It's a funny story how this concept was started and how we got in place. I'll tell you basically how I got associated with DSIM. After my college, basically, I'm an engineer student. I actually quite lost what to do with my life. So I was just wondering, what is it that interests me? And how many times is it that you go to Flipkart or Amazon, you're looking for some particular product, some shoes or something, and you're browsing, you're reading some article or you're on Facebook, and you see that same very product just showing up randomly. So that is one thing. It's called retargeting, by the way, where you see a particular product and then it follows you every time till the time you actually buy it. So it's that's one thing that got my interest into how does this happen. So what sort of marketing is this? How does this whole process function? So I started looking up for online marketing courses on Google, and the first thing I found was DSIM. So I thought if an institute is good with their SEO, so I'm sure they can teach pretty well as well. So that's how it started with me. So I did a short course with them, and then about 3 months into the course, I wanted to basically apply the theoretical knowledge that I've learned into a practical course. So along with my job, I started working on this e-commerce project, which is bigsmall.in. And it started very small, of course. How startups are. You practically have no budget and all you want to do is just learn. So that's how it all started with me. And every little thing that I learned there, whether it's related to social media, within social media, there's, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat nowadays, Pinterest is coming, and so on. Apart from that, other mobile marketing techniques, email marketing, and so on. I still refer to some of the notes that I have from there. So, make notes of everything that you've learned. And, one thing as an entrepreneur that you should know, whatever skill you learn in your life, it will come into play, whether you're working on your startup or if you're working for someone else. So always keep that in mind. So anyway, we can begin the Mangalwar masterclass now. Yeah. So today we're gonna be speaking about how important social media is to your startup, and how you can basically take it from level 0 to level N and continue to use social media to have that presence on the internet. It's very important that, especially for a startup, where how do you drive traffic to your website? How do you get people to talk about you? How do you make a brand of yourself? So all of these things, social media has become a very, 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 very important part. If you are into online marketing, or if you know the gist of it, you probably know how important it is to like how effective online marketing is against traditional marketing techniques. With the targeting that you can do, age specific, demographic specific, interest specific, and basically you can particularly find a very, very small niche and target a particular ad just for them. Like, I'll give you a very small example. That's something that I do as well. I have about 3-4 products which are specific to the iPhone, and particularly iPhone 6 and 6, which are for the same size. So, like, there's a phone cover, there is a cord protector, because if you're using an iPhone, you know how easily the cord breaks, and a couple of other iPhone specific products. So if you are showing an ad to them, a sponsored ad where you are spending money to get people to see to you, click on that ad, you want it to go to the right people. If there's someone using a Nokia phone or a BlackBerry phone, uh, the iPhone ad is of no use to them. But with the techniques that there are, the targeting options, and how effective, especially Facebook at this stage, how important Facebook and other, even Twitter as well, and so on. So there are so many targeting options. So you can particularly show that ad to a person who is using the iPhone. So if I am on the iPhone and I see this ad that hey iPhone user, this, I think this will protect your cord, and I'm more likely to click on that ad than a regular person who's using a BlackBerry phone, suppose. So yeah, so that's just a small gist of things you can do, the power of social media. If you know about Donald Trump being the president of the US, so it's the campaign, the social media virality he gained with the campaigns that effectively gain him tons of votes. With how he used to list out everything, and of course, forget the US. You look at Narendra Modi himself. He tweets. He's very active on social media. Like, of course, he has a team behind him, but then whatever it is, every action, there is so much of his presence on the internet. With everything, he wants everything to go cashless, everything to be on the internet. So you can look at all these examples around you and see how effectively they use their marketing techniques, which are particularly guided to you. Basically, if this ad serves you, it has to be for you only. It should not, with the targeting options there are, like, I'll give you another example. Like, if you my office is situated in Chhatarpur, so I see tons of hoardings. Some would say a pizza place or a spa place or whatever. Many of them are irrelevant for me. It's like I look at them and then I ignore them. There is a car showroom, I ignore them. But if there's something that I see right outside my office, it's because my business is an e-commerce business. Right outside my office, if I see a shipping company hoarding, I know it's for me, right? Because I'm looking for shipping partners all the time. So that kind of presence, that kind of marketing, you can't always do physically. That is where the online space comes into place. If I see an ad of shipping company, I'm more inclined to reach out to them. So yeah. All right, so let's begin with the first slide. So there are a few points that we'll go over. As you can see from my screen, there's choose your social media platforms. There are tons of platforms out there. Like I said, Facebook is probably the biggest. I mean, there are multiple facts about how many people are live on Facebook right now. There was a recent stat that one out of every third person in this universe right now is on Facebook. So, the reach it can get you is just enormous. I mean, there is no end to it, especially for a startup. If you want to reach out to 10,000 people, perfect. Reach out to 1 lakh people, perfect. 10 lakh people, perfect. Even 1 crore people. Now, it all depends what your targeting is, who you want to reach out to, who's your, basically primary target, what are your goals. So that's the next point. Before you choose the right social media platform for you, you need to determine what are your primary goals. We'll talk in detail when it comes to that slide. Then there is, marketing on a limited budget. As with a startup, unless you are like super funded initially with the huge seed funding, you can go out, acquire customers, but even then you need to have the results with you. So always, even if you have, tons of money, always think you have limited budget, because only then you'll get the results. If you think you have enough money to reach out to anyone, there is no point with marketing that ways. Then another thing is, you always need to talk to your people. By people, meaning your audience, who they're the final people whose your product is going to, whether it's an software-based company, whether it's an e-commerce company, whether it's a media platform or whatever it is. You look at Scoop Whoop, you look at Your Story. These are media companies, and their primary goal is to get people to their website and read their articles and engage with them, get comments in there, take their input and so on. And the last thing is you need to have a team for social media. That team can be one person, that team can be two people, that team can be comprising of 50 or n number of people. Irrespective of that, you need to keep everything in place, that these are the goals, these are the things to do from your social media team. Within a startup, of course, it's thin lines. There are you obviously start small, you might have a partner, you might not have a partner, but just realize how important it is to have a team, to always have a flow with the things. Like if you are doing Twitter or if you're doing Facebook, so you create a plan in such a way that you have a frequency set. That suppose you have to do one post every day, you have to reply to queries, you have to be responsive, you have to be active with other pages to engage yourselves. It's not like just that if you are on the page, you can't be just randomly posting. You find something interesting, you just post it randomly. Everything has to be related to your brand. The creative that you put in, the post that you put in, everything has to be in place with that. Yeah. All right. So the number one point that I said is, you need to start with choosing the right social media platform. Now, a lot of times, people get stuck with, because there are so many platforms. I'll just name a few that's on top of my head: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat is coming in now, and there are tons of other replicas of Facebook and other social media channels that there are. But the very, very important part of startup is that it's fine to have a presence and all. You need to create your profiles to get that validity, to get that trust. But you can you need to design content for one particular platform, and hence have a plan individually for each of them. There might be some platforms that might not be suitable for you. You can just have a presence there, keep a business page, and let things flow. I'll give you an example. Like for bigsmall.in, it's an e-commerce brand, where I want people to see the products. It's the products are such that unless you see them, because they don't have much search value. I'll give you an example of one of the products. It's called foot hammock, which you keep in your office. You put your feet there and you just lie there and chill. So not many people know that exists. So hence the search value is very low. That is why it's important for me as a brand manager, that how do I get this product to the people, how do I show it to them. So that is where images, the creatives come into play. So that's where Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest is not so much in India right now, but yeah, probably in the coming years, in the US or so, if your target audience is in the US or abroad, people actually shop from Pinterest pins directly. You can set up stores on Pinterest and make purchases directly there. But for the Indian market, it's very limited. it's coming here slowly and steadily. But yeah, so for me, Facebook and Instagram are my primary channels because I need to show my products. I need to show the images. In case of Twitter, you know how Twitter is used. It's like more real-time news for someone like Your Story, or for someone like an Aaj Tak or NDTV who needs to break stories. What happens now if you get an earthquake? Like before you even feel anything, you go to Twitter, you see a hashtag of that. So yeah, any platform, any of these platform, or all of them combined are very important to get the virality. But then you need to choose wisely based on your company's objectives. You need to see where your target audience is. Like LinkedIn for me is a waste unless I'm looking for funding, because from there I can find investors, I can put in my numbers, this is how I'm doing. As a founder, I can put in posts that, these are things that interest me and so on. But from a business point of view, I can sell products there. I use Facebook for engagement, to talk to my people, to get feedback, and also to sell. It's hardcore selling also happens on Facebook by driving traffic to my page, to my website. Along with that, Facebook also has a shop tab through which, you can show your products categorically and, get people to your website ultimately. So you need to understand what your customers are looking for, what is your business objective, how basically which is the right one for you, and then go for that, make a proper plan, and then get through with that. All right. So I'll move on to the next slide. Yeah. So it's basically a follow-up on the first slide only. So before how you set up your social media platform is you need to determine your primary goals. So like I said, it could be engagement, it could be selling, it could be interaction, it could be brand management, or just if you want people to talk about you, or it could be all of these together, along with other objectives there are. So when we talk about engagement, now I'll talk across multiple platforms. So if I talk about Facebook, you put up a particular post, you want people to engage with it. Sorry, by that I mean you want people to like your post, to comment on it, to share it, right? And then eventually get people to talking about your brand. That a lot of times I see, like if you are active on Facebook or so, you would see Scoop Whoop articles or Scroll or all these very, very engaging articles that they put. So when we say engaging, it means something that strikes you, that strikes your chord. And it's the same thing with with my brand. So whenever I'm putting up a particular post, the brand tone that there is, the copy is basically the text that you put with the creative. So everything that there is, it has to match your customer base. Who is it being targeted to? Like for me, if it's something that's targeted to an 18 to 24-year generation, so I know they're like easygoing, just early office starters or college crowd who get attracted by probably a casual language, but still professional. But in case if I'm targeting someone, a completely office crowd on LinkedIn, and the target audience is 25 to 34, which is completely office going, it has to be very, very formal. So again, it all depends on your brand and what are the objectives. You can use social media for selling. Now, again, it can be two things. A lot of times, startups I have seen. I've also worked I had a small stint with another startup who deals in handicrafts. So who just has a Facebook page and they sell from there. So, they they do ads, they do organic post, and then just put up the post, get people to comment. There are Facebook groups and all also. Like, it's Facebook groups is actually a very, very big upcoming thing. If you've heard of Shopwati, there is bunch of other Facebook groups that even if you're looking for a job, it's groups are very, very active because they're closed members. So everyone is under that group will get a notification if you're subscribed for it. So yeah, so you need to determine what your primary goal is. You can set up a Facebook page and start selling right away from that. Whether it's get people to comment. A lot of time people, I put up a Facebook post which is just a product post, just telling them this is back in stock, or here's something that can be used, just a general product, and then people come in saying price please or whatever. So you can get an order directly there, or get people to your website where you ultimately convert them and showcase them other products as well. So yeah, that is there. Then there is interaction. Now this is very, very important that you interact with your audience. Otherwise, there will be no way for a user to know what kind of brand you are unless you interact with them. So like for me, or I'll talk to you about maybe Scoop Foop or someone who's has a big presence over social media. Any post that they put up, any sort of uh, consider basically a new mobile phone launch. So I was earlier associated with 91 Mobiles. I was working there. So consider a new mobile phone launch, and you need to a lot of times our company did Facebook Live, which is again a new feature where you just go live straight away using your phone and do an unboxing or show them the event and so on. So it's real time. People are asking questions to you. It can be like just like this webinar. So people are asking questions to you, and it's you answer them in real time, have an interaction, you tell them who you are as a brand. So again, you need to determine what your primary goals are and then work on that objective. The next thing is you keep yourself in the loop. By that, I mean, the number of times you post, the frequency, or so you don't want people to forget about you because that's the whole point of having a social media presence. So, unless you try it, you would never know what is too many, what is too less. By that, I mean, if I do one post in a day, is that good enough for my base? Or if I do 10 posts in a day, is it like I'm bombarding my audience, that they just see my post and they're sick of it and they eventually unsubscribe? So it's very important you keep your brand in the loop, you get people to talk about you, and by that, you can do multiple things. You can host contests, you can simply ask questions, you can do regular posts, you can do trending posts, and always be active with your audience. Like if someone is putting up a comment, hey, this is very funny. So you reply to him in a probably a funnier way, give him a satirical answer so that even he feels that he's part of your company. He's an actually so like you did all the hard work to get him to comment. He might have ignored and move on. So now that he's here, you should try your best to acquire him completely. And all this while, the most important part is brand management. Never lose your brand tone. No matter how casual you are, do not make rookie mistakes when you're putting up a post or doing anything. Don't do spelling mistakes. Don't do any cheap posts that Facebook or any other platform might ban you off. Keep yourself in the loop, but always maintain that respect and your brand tone, whether it's casual, it's formal, it's funny, whatever it is, always, have that image in people's mind that, these guys are funny, these guys are awesome, these guys are this and that. Whatever, let people make a perception based on your actions. All right. So now, next thing is marketing on a limited budget. Now, like I said earlier, it's very important that when you're starting out, you practically don't have any budgets to spend. So, you probably want results straight away. So there are 3-4 things that you can do to ensure that when you're marketing a limited budget, you don't eventually go into losses. You do damage control and then you work out a proper plan and then implement it. So the first thing is, when you like for me, if I am creating any content, I need to research what my people are basically actually searching for. So for me, Big Small event like it initially started out as a unique products brand. From there on, I saw there's a need for unique gifting space. So that's where Big Small came into presence as a unique gifting brand, and now people associate that Big Small as a gifting brand. Whether it's for them it's unique or not, but we as a brand, our perception, we want people to perceive us as a unique gifting brand. So you need to research for keywords and then work on it and then create engaging contents or interactions with that. I'll give you a small example. Last week only we conducted a contest. We got 50,000 likes on Facebook, so we had a small contest where we put up 4 products in a small simple collage and then asked people to comment who would they like this to gift. It's engaging because if you see suppose a funny mask, and I know that this bird mask is for one of my friend who's always flying or taking crap or whatever it is. So it's very, very important that it's engaging as well as related to my brand because it's a gifting brand. Yeah. So now you need to always mix up content. So that's where the next point comes in, that you put up stories based on what's trending. So how are you related to your brand? One of the company who does this very, very effectively is Zomato and Amul. If you follow Amul on Facebook and Twitter, you will see the kind of posts that they do. Whatever is trending, every day they put up one post. They have a big design team who uses their icon, the girl that there is, and puts into different contexts. So you need to see what's trending and how you can relate it to your brand. Again, I'll give you another example of how I used it once. So once Modi traveled to one of the countries, like he's been traveling since past 2 years. So he was traveling to one of the countries, and there was a photo in Times of India where he's coming out of the plane, and there is a headline saying, Modi comes to China and so on. It was a full front page ad on Times of India. So we edited that ad, we edited the whole creative, the front page of the newspaper. We put up a big small package, a poly bag in Modi's hand, coming out of the plane, and put up the title, Modi gets unique gifts from India for China Prime Minister, something like that. And then, it was so engaging where we asked people, people were sharing it because it was funny and it related to our brand. And it was, that was what was trending at that point. All right. So, so yeah, the next thing is you find content that's not readily available. So, it's if there is abundance of something, people have already seen it, people have already read it, they'll not, get interacted, they'll not be interested in your content. So, I think it's pretty self-understood that ways. And yeah, the next point is, you need to target a niche audience. You cannot simply just go out and see, this thing is for everyone, whether it's an article, it's a post, or any contest or whatever it is. It cannot be for everyone. So you need to decide who your target audience is, whether it's based on gender, age, interest, behavior, what are they currently doing, how often do they travel, which industry do they belong to, whatever it is. There are multiple targeting options you can do for organic as well as paid marketing. So always be sure of who your target audience is. Create content for them. If it's for college students, you can tell them five eating joints you should try in Delhi. But if it's for an office goer, you should tell them five places you can order homemade food. So, it's again, it depends on who your target audience is. Now, when you are marketing on a limited budget, or in fact any budget, whenever you're marketing, whether it's traditional or online, very, very important. There are two parts to it. So you have to be creative and you have to be analytical. They both go hand in hand. You cannot be just creative and see, I made a very, very smart post. It's very, very engaging. You think it's very engaging. But unless you do the analysis on it, what kind of post work well? Whether it's like, by that I mean, if I'm doing fun fact Monday, every Monday I post one weird fun fact. Every Wednesday I put up a product post. Every Friday I do a Facebook live session, something like that. So you do this for a series of suppose weeks, and then you think that your live sessions are going very well, but actually maybe your weird facts are doing very well in terms of numbers, in terms of engagement, in terms of the popularity you're getting, in terms of the people coming to your website, in terms of people talking about you. So you need to be very clear, you need to measure results and then implement that. So now if you think the fact part is doing better, maybe you do it more. You do the live session less, whatever it is, and then you change your objectives and your plan as per the analysis. Just 1 second, guys. All right. Now, the next point that we're going to move on to is in social media, this is the power of social media, that you can talk to your people. The earlier example that I gave you, like suppose if I see a shipping company is holding outside my office, the only thing that there'll be is probably their email ID and their phone number that I have to contact to. But the board won't be talking to me, right? So, but in terms of social media, as a brand, you can have your presence. So, I'll give you an example. I recently ordered something from Flipkart, and I faced a terrible experience in terms of their customer service. I called the customer service, they put me on hold, they told me the return pickup will be done, they canceled my return pickup and so on. So I just posted on their social media. I told them, this is unacceptable, and I have paid you guys 10,000 bucks. I wanted this to be refunded. I am applicable for the refund. Your delivery guys are canceling this and so on. And they immediately, wrote back to me on my personal message saying that, this will be sorted out pretty soon. I got a call from the team saying that, you wrote to us. So it's a very, this is like one part of it where you handle complaints. Similarly, you can handle, you can take feedback, you can, if there's something that you want to start, it's very, you're doing one thing and you want some opinion, because let me tell you very honestly, people are very opinionated, especially on social media. Like, everyone has an opinion. Like out of the 100 people there are, 90 would actually have an opinion, 10 would not care because they're just for the fun. So the 90 people that were actually giving you an answer, take that feedback, implement. Do surveys, take feedback, create interactions, Q&As, do stories. Instagram has come up with stories recently, and now WhatsApp has come up with stories as well, like the live status. So another way to reach out to your customer base, basically have your presence, keep yourself in the loop, get people to not forget you, right? So, and when you talk to your people, always, if you're putting up any post as a brand, you think from an education point of view that your user might not know this. So, treat him as someone who doesn't know anything. So like if you're telling him that it takes 3 to 5 days for shipping, this is wrong, because 3 to 5 days, it's basically 3 to 5 working days, and by working days is Monday to Friday. So always keep your communication very clear. You educate your audience, use a call to action. Like if you are taking a feedback, if you want someone to fill up a survey form, don't just put up a post with a link. You need to have a call to action. Call to action is basically a button which someone clicks and says, suppose sign up now, or read more, shop now. That is what gets people to click. If you can, so now this actually varies. I've read multiple articles where call to actions helps in higher click rate or not. In most cases, yes, but you can try with your brand whenever you're posting. You can do A/B testing like that. You put up a call to action button, or you don't put a call to action. From my advice, always put one. It gives a clear action of what the user is supposed to do. If I'm seeing a link, I might not click on it thinking it's spam. But if there's something I see, okay, sign up now, this is gonna get me interesting stories in my email. So sure, why not? I can do that. All right, moving on. Yeah. So the next slide is we talk about always have a plan. We talked about research, finding keywords, creating content that's not already out there, targeting a very niche audience. So, you need to understand, once you have made a base, who your audience is, what are their interests. So, relating it to my brand, Big Small, once we started out, we thought it's a very quirky brand for college-going students, who 18 to 24 is the target audience, preferably female who like to, spend more. But very honestly, with the way things have gone, our the audience has changed, and we got to know it, with the feedback that we've been taking from the users. So we speak to all our customers. Every order that we get, we speak to them, taking a feedback, or on social media and other WhatsApp, other platforms as well. So you need to understand what their interests are. So for us, the paradigm shifted from 18 to 24 to 24 to 35, basically office goers. And then there is another very small niche of, old housewives who basically spend money from their homes. So who are in their 40s or so. So, there are products which are targeted just for them. There are products which are targeted just for the audience. There are products targeted just for girls, products targeted for someone who's about to get married, and so on. So have an audience, segregate them, segment them based on their interest. Yeah. So before you have a plan, and like while you're having a plan, making a plan of your social media, you need to be very thorough with your competitor analysis. This is probably, it's similar across all platforms, any marketing, or in fact any business that you're doing, whether it's, into steel, whether it's an online business, whether it's manufacturing, or whatever it is. You need to know what your competitors are doing. This is even more so important in terms of social media, because when you're starting out, there are other companies who have been doing this for long. So, you should always look at the good part they've done, and also the bad part they've done. The bad part that they've done is you need to work on that and not do that yourself. Whether it's what their tone is, what kind of post do they do, what are the different categories that they do, who is their audience, is their audience engaging enough, should you get audience like them, you can, if I talk about Facebook, when you're setting up an ad, you can actually target people who like a particular page. So for me, like if someone is following Happily and Married, he might be a customer for me as well. But then they have such a huge base of like 20 lakh people, out of which, all of them may not be relevant for me. So, I look at someone who likes Happily Unmarried, who likes Chumbak, who likes Bewakoof, and also likes another thing of that. And eventually, he might be a good person for me. So do your comparative analysis, see what kind of posts they're doing, what kind of reach are they getting, what number of likes against the number of shares, or what kind of content is getting the most virality. So, and then plan accordingly. Also, again, like see what's the time of posting, what's the frequency, and who is it that basically it's getting them more shares and so on. Yeah. So next thing is, when you're setting up a plan, it's not just what kind of content, you need to do something that's related to your brand, and you should do series kind of things that people can relate to. This is especially effective when you're doing video, and video is the next big thing uh, coming to social media now. YouTube is definitely there, but with Facebook and other Instagram, the small clips. There was Vine that got shut down recently, but yeah, their video will always be there. It's most effective. It's less time consuming, and it's more entertaining. You can get people to view it immediately if you have something very, very engaging. So if you can do something that people can relate to, do a series kind of, so like I gave you an example earlier, like a weird Wednesday fact. So people would, if you have a loyal fan base, they would be actually waiting. And every Wednesday these guys post out one awesome video, and telling them, informing them, educating them about a particular issue or something that's very quirky, something that's funny. So people relate to that. Then with respect to social media, set realistic targets. I mean, there is a bunch of things that you can do, but there's not everything that you can do. So like in terms of business, if we talk about, yes, you can get sales, but your business cannot only sustain on social media. So when you're having a plan, whether it's, if you want to do a contest, don't think that I'm going to get like 500 orders out of a contest and you keep, like, you spend bunch loads of money. You need to be realistic. Contests are for engagement, to get people to talk about you, to see what kind of things this brand does. So when you're setting up a plan, always set realistic targets. And then the last point I had mentioned earlier as well, whichever platform you're on, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, Facebook, Google Plus, any other platform that there is, you need to design content based on the platform you're on. In terms of Google Plus, I would probably post articles, get people in my circle. In terms of Facebook, I would do engaging posts, I would do Facebook Live. Twitter, I would do something more real time, back in stock or a flash sale or some alert or something or the other. Instagram, again, for engagement, completely content specific, nothing textual. It's completely image or videos. It's stories also. You can do real time unboxing, shoots, or also you need to differentiate also what kind of content goes into which platform. Example I'll give you. So basically, something like behind the scenes that happens in your office. So I want Big Small to be perceived as a fun brand. That's what we are from the outside and from the inside as well. We have some rules and regulations that we follow. That every Wednesday there's this guy who gets this awesome dishes, and this day we do this stuff. X day we do this stuff. These are all behind the scenes that we want people to see. To relate to us as a fun brand. Now, my Instagram community is such that I can share these things there. But on Facebook, I like to keep it more professional there because it's more for get people on the website, get more engagement there. So, you need to design content and put up content based on the platform that you are on. All right. Now, the last point that there is basically, who will to have running a social media campaign or everything, you need to have a proper team. Like I said earlier, it can be a one-man team, it can be a 10-man team, or it can be X number of people there are. But there are some things you need to always be sure of who is doing what. So as a person who's heading the marketing team or an organization, you should know basically what the responsibility lies with, who the responsibility lies with. So there are a couple of things you should always make note. When you're putting up content, who will, basically make a plan, find the images, edit the images, or create content? Who will write the copy in your brand tone? Like even if you're hiring someone, you need to explain him what the brand tone is. Formal, it's casual, it's funny, it's quirky, it's serious, it's to the point, to the face, it's ghuma fira ke, whatever it is. You need to always have the person be sure of whatever is going up on the portal. Then, if you're doing paid campaigns or organic campaigns, who will create and manage those campaigns? Who will basically do the analysis? Who will respond to weekends? You don't want to be working Monday to Friday, have a good response rate, 99% response rate. This page usually responds in 5 minutes. And then on the weekends, there is no reply. So eventually, it spoils the whole brand experience. If I am facing a problem on a Friday evening, I might not get a reply until Monday. So, you can set up autoresponders or something or the other that, you at least get some communication to the user saying that, we'll get back to you on Monday. We are functional from Monday to Friday or whatever it is. But always the user communication should be very, very clear. Then who will manage the community? It's again, uh, if someone is asking a question, if someone is, you want to engage with the people, you want to like someone's comment, so who will do it? So you need to have answers to these questions. And then, there are multiple tools that you can use as a startup to manage social media effectively. One of the tool is Buffer, which gives you the ability to post at multiple social media channels at once. Then there is Hootsuite, basically, again, which gives you very good analysis based on each post and each platform. So who will be managing the required tools to do analysis on this, who will be creating content and so on. So all in all, it's very, very important to have a answer to all these questions and eventually, do proper brand management, create a team, and push your startup in such a way that your audience is yours only. Like when I say I have 50,000 likes on my Facebook page, those are my 50,000 users. They are the best users I can ever get because they have willingly subscribed to my page. I haven't gone to buy them. It's, they have come there organically through the post. They were engaged either today or once in the past. So, it's your audience. You need to build that. You need to always be engaging. You need to answer their queries. You need to take feedback to go forward and keep yourself in the loop. Have an awesome brand image, and social media certainly helps you with that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna conclude with that now. Um, and I'm just gonna sum it up. If you want to uh, get the basics right, get a gist of how things work, get onto the DSIM course. The curriculum is awesome. It can definitely help you a lot. And do check out bigsmall.in and definitely share some feedback. Do check out the Facebook page, search for bigsmall.in, check out Twitter, check out Instagram. If any questions that you have, how I did this or how I did that, or anything related to startup also, you can ping me on my email ID. It's aman@bigsmall.in. And in case of any queries, just hit me up. So yeah, all right, guys. I think we're good to take questions now. All right, guys, I think there is some trouble. I'm not able to see the questions. So what you guys can do is just put in your questions at karan@dsim.in. I'm gonna put it on the chat as well. Karan@dsim on dsim.in. He'll reply to all your queries, and in case of anything, you can definitely ping me as well. Uh, it's good, uh, presenting this webinar to you, and good luck for your future. Cheers.